Hi, Sylvia.
Jessica.
So today's discussion is going to be on words. So I wrote a blog, and the blog was called Word Hurts. But I think it's important to talk about how words can heal as well. So I was thought we would touch on both of them. So my blog starts with this old, I don't know, saying, nursery rhyme. I don't know what it is, but basically this is it. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Now, I was reading a little bit up on why that was used, and supposedly it was what children would say to bullies, you know. But the truth is, words hurt. And they don't just hurt when they are told to you or written to you, as with texting or emails, but they hurt potentially throughout your life and you can not only hear the words, as you continue through life, but they can actually change how you feel about yourself. They can change how you respond to in relationships by triggers. They can keep you in relationships where they reinforce some of the very hurtful words you may have heard as children. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I completely agree. Words have the power to either um, destroy, kill, or edify and build up. So that's why it's so important that we always must mind our words, think before we speak.
When you say destroy and kill, I couldn't help but think about every once in a while you hear these horrible stories, sometimes teenagers or young adults who were bullied by words and killed themselves. So it
Yes,
really does,
absolutely.
besides killing your soul, because you
Hmm.
feel so horrible. So in my blog, I discussed how painful the initial word can be and also what it can do. And I used myself as an example. And the example that I used during in my blog was about how in my childhood, I always felt, and I'm going to use this word stupid, but I always felt that I was not smart enough to speak out, that what I would say would be incorrect. And I connect that to certain how I was treated as a child. Now, I was blessed to be brought up in a very intelligent family with who had intelligent friends, and our dinner table was wonderful. I learned so much listening to them speak about politics and world events and the law. But I was told children should be seen and not heard. When I did try to speak, I was told to be quiet. I didn't wasn't confident enough to, try to speak beyond that. And so I remained quiet. And when I was helped with homework, if I didn't get it like this, I was told the answer. So it just made me feel stupid. Now, I'm saying that word freely now, but that was a word that was so painful for me that throughout most of my life that I would tell my children not to use that word. I'd rather them curse than use that word. I didn't want them to feel the pain that I felt or make others feel that way. It was just such a sensitive word to me. So I also believe that I also was in relationships that reinforced that feeling, how I felt about myself. And I allowed that to happen as well. So, and it stopped me from public speaking. Now, the fact that I'm sitting here talking to you right now is okay, a miracle is an exaggeration, but certainly surprising because I was always very nervous about speaking in public. One on one, I was comfortable with being a psychotherapist, very comfortable because I did feel confident in that field. And, you're listening. Most of the time, you're listening before you, give advice or help someone. So, what do you feel about that?
Well, there are several points here. First and foremost, how even the unspoken word can have an effect on us and how we see ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we know that perception is a person's reality. So that became your reality, though nothing could be farther from the truth. And I wanted to say that the fact that you're here speaking and all of the things that you were able to do or and have done are a direct result of your decision to heal.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how important heal, recognizing where our wounds come from when we have triggers
Mm-hmm.
and healing from them. Now, this brings to my memory a very powerful scripture. I think all scripture is powerful, but there are these two scriptures that really came to mind with this topic.
Mm-hmm.
And one shows how words can be weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And it comes from Isaiah 54:17, and it says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment shall be condemned." So that is telling you that the weapon being used are words.
Mm-hmm.
And, in this, God is saying that we will be held responsible for the words that we speak forth.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the other one is in Proverbs 18:21. Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit. So you'll see manifest whatever you're speaking, whether you're speaking death or you're speaking life.
Mm-hmm.
And so in all of our relationships, and it's so important to be mindful as to how we communicate, because sometimes we might say something not necessarily meaning, and we've left an impression on someone.
Mm-hmm.
We've left it in their emotions, their mind, their spirit, and their soul. So it's always important to be mindful as to what words we're using.
So, on the positive note of words, I know that someday, and people should do this, I think. I've walked down the street. Now, I have a very friendly neighborhood, but I've done this also when I see a person who's alone and I just will say hi. And I've had a response from people, you know, you've made my day, or
Yes.
it just brings light, just having a connection when they were feeling lonely, just saying hi. It's
Yeah.
a simple word, and
Yeah.
it can make, a person feel connected.
Yes, absolutely. I remember many, many years ago, um, I was laughing and just enjoying the moment that I was in. And um, I was told by the person that I was with that I laughed too loud.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh,
And
sorry.
yeah, and that has come, like that has played over. Suddenly, it'll like come to my attention if I'm laughing, am I laughing too loud? Like you, I too have done the work to go through anything that has been hurtful. And, you would think that why would what difference does that make or whatever? But it had an effect and I became aware of it. And, so now I'm like, okay, well, maybe I laughed too loud, but yeah, but thankfully, it didn't have that long lasting effect because there was awareness once I started doing my own healing walk. But that's an example.
The awareness is key. The first step, I mean, is awareness. Where
Right.
does it come from? What are the triggers? What's really happening here? Is it, oh God, somewhere it was imagotherapy, and I may have the the ratio incorrect, but basically in imagotherapy, if you're doing couple work, and if I'm wrong, then let's just say this is a good concept. I won't even say it's imagotherapy. And that is when let's say a couple is having a disagreement. 80% is what you bring to it, and 20% maybe about the actual subject at hand.
Right.
And what you bring to that is you. And with that are your triggers and the pain and all that. And that could have started with a unspoken or unspoken word.
Right. Another example that comes to mind is the experiments that have been done with plants.
Yes.
When you have two different plants, same environment, but to one, positive words of affirmation are spoken to it, and to the other one, it's negative words, and words that basically destroy are spoken to that one. And it has been seen that or shown, proven that the one that had the negative word spoken to it basically dies. It stops thriving. That's the word.
Wow.
And the one with all of the affirmative words spoken to it, and the love expressed to it, thrives.
Mm-hmm. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Truly. Yeah. I mean, there's no question. Uh, uh, Painful words are hurtful and can kill,
Yes.
and positive words can heal.
Yes.
And sometimes you just need to do it for yourself. Once you become aware, try to say positive words, replace those negative words with positive words, and
Right.
eventually it will click. It
Yes.
takes time, and certainly doing this work can be very painful as well, because going
Yes.
back to your childhood and remembering what the trauma may have been. And trauma, everyone thinks of trauma as being this big event. It doesn't have to be a big event. It could be a word that was said to
Right.
you that stuck with you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
but you can replace it with positive healing
Yes.
words.
Yes. And the thing with going back and being aware, and then deciding to that you want to heal from these things, it is very painful, because you have to relive, and your emotions are going to be exposed once again and whatnot. However, um, there's breakthrough on the other side of that. There's wholeness on the other side of that.
We can both attest to that for
Yes.
our own personal journeys, that there absolutely is.
Yes, absolutely. So, the pain is momentary, it's real, but it's momentary. But then the reward is so great. It's
And the rest
living a
of your life,
life of abundance.
right. And then the rest of your life is
Right.
right. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is our first YouTube video. We're going to have many more. We were doing Instagram lives before. We'll still do those as well, right? But we'll keep doing.
Yes.
And so if there's any ideas out there of subjects you want us to speak about, let us know. I'm Jessica Ann Pressler, LCSW, and
I'm Sylvia Puentes. I am a nurse, and I'm also a faith-based coach and mentor.
we are very good friends for many, many years and been through a lot of trauma together. And
Yes.
we have healed each other as well. So
Yes.
friendship is vital.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
We will talk to you soon, everybody.
Bye.